Look at the UVTV motherfucker. I'm in a kick spiritual. I'm over this fucking light. Look at the UVTV motherfucker. I'm gonna kick spiritual ass and do this for my people. On God. Yeah, nigga, feather me. Yeah, today I'm gonna be talking about the blooming of a flower, moving smoothly and continuously to plant seeds. So just in general, right, when it comes to that state of being of understanding the state of being of like being like a flower and being more like a flower based upon that state of being is just you actually trying to understand the space of being like a flower for the most part. I'm gonna utilize that terminology or word that I done made up. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's the same thing, a flower, a flower, and a flower is just someone who actively can move and smoothly a person, yeah, someone who actively can move smoothly and continuously for the most part. So the same way when it comes to like a flower coming off the ground and it being a plant and based upon its reproductive structure and stuff like that, right? It's gonna be something that's consistent of the male and the female organs and stuff like that, like the stem and all that, and the petals and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Scientists can break that shit down based upon the different you know what I'm saying, organisms that's a part of a flower to make a flower be a flower, and then it coming off the ground like a mustard seed and stuff like that to make it actually grow during the different seasonal transitions when it comes to the springtime and the summertime for the most part. But just in general, right, it's more about that spring type of energy because it's based upon germinated seeds. So that's when the bees and the butterflies and stuff like that start messing with the flowers and stuff like that, and then things start to bloom during that time. But based upon that overall space and that state of being during the springtime, right, is all about spring and it's all about germinated seed. It's all about developing into something. It's all about creativity and stuff like that. So once you start to plant that seed, it's actually gonna start to get sentience is actually going to start to come alive by the time it comes into summertime and stuff like that, and it's going to start getting into that transition when it comes to the season transitions, and then the summer solstice and stuff like that, and the equinox in the equinoxes and stuff like that. So based upon that overall way of how you look at it, just in general, right? It make you be more in sync and relatable because you acting as the atmosphere is acting just in general. And in the atmosphere, it's just the sphere at most, the word at most. Now we have that particular thing when it comes to our internal energies. Once you start to get more spiritual, so once you start to get more spiritual about it, for the most part, from that state of being and us understanding the atmosphere, okay, that's actually being carried out below the horizon or us being in the flesh into the physical and stuff like that. So that's just us. I mean, that's just showing like something that's beyond just yourself. It's showing like a higher example from you looking from dawn till dusk, or the Adams and the Eves, aka the dawn, or in the evening time being the dusk or the nighttime. And based upon that whole circadian rhythm and that mechanism and that transition and stuff like that, you can show the space you have to be in during certain points in times. That's why it'd be very important to understand astrology, because astrology is just a study of the stars and stuff like that and star formation. So that's you looking at the sun and the moon cycles and stuff like that, and you being in sync when it comes to that. And it's you understanding, okay, there's a space you have to be in, and that's a time, a mind, a mentality. I thought I did feel an emotion that you have to give life during that time, and then it's gonna get manifested and materialized into reality based upon how you're able to keep on being in that pocket when that was the time to be in that pocket. So you should be acting springtime during springtime. You shouldn't be trying to have on a big ass bubble coat and stuff like that when it's springtime and you acting like this shit is wintertime. You shouldn't be wearing no goddamn socks and sandals and short shorts and stuff like that and short sleeves when it's in the middle of wintertime and it's fucking 50 degrees, unless you some white person or some shit like that. And y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. It'll only be white motherfuckers when you doing some shit like that while shoveling snow and stuff like that, and it be like these motherfuckers playing tennis and shit, and we right in the middle of fucking fall and wintertime and stuff like that. It's chilly as fuck outside. Why the fuck you got that shit on? You know what I'm saying? Like, but we can get deep into it. So a flower is just a specialized reproductive structure. So from it being a structure, it's based upon some type of constitution, aka it's based upon some type of system. So from it being based some type of mechanism or some type of system that lets you know it's like a discipline or like a process, and it's consistent of the male and the female organs and stuff like that. And we make organs based upon the mentality that we in. You know what I'm saying? I know they don't teach this shit in school, but in general, our mentality be making these new organs and stuff like that, and then we be the walking organism. And based upon what the atmosphere is doing of us being in reality, okay, based upon the internal natures and stuff like that, and it being part of the universe, that means there's an eternal nature of what it means to do that. So everyone has that shining quality. Everyone has their own expression. Everyone has that star quality and stuff like that. Everyone has a different moons they're different moods, not moon. They have their different moods. The same way how when it comes to the moon, when it comes to the emotions and feelings and stuff like that. So based upon what we see in the external world and the different things in the natural nature of things and things that you see organically in the different celestial bodies, right? And when we look at the sky, aka the heavens, right? We have our own internal heaven for the most part. And then the skies or the heavens is just the abode of God. So God is just all possibilities. Okay, we made things possible to make it so we in existence, so we have our own mind and stuff like that. So once you start to create and develop your own awareness and knowledge and wisdom and actually having more to experience based upon what you're observing and stuff like that, and you have another way to, you know what I'm saying, make a new way or a new pocket when it comes to what you're observing, and the things you be observing is your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, and it ends up turning into manifesting and materializing. And manifesting is just manifesting. It's just festering men. So festering men and women. So men would be like ideas, ideologies, and thought forms, and stuff like that. And then woman or your Eves would be like emotions and feelings for the most part. So the daytime would be you making it above the horizon, you expressing the thoughts and ideas, and then the nightshade or the nighttime or the twilight zone is when it starts to become dark or something that it starts to turn into a mechanism of the accumulation of a whole bunch of different light, and too much light can end up blinding you, so you can't end up seeing, right? So that's when you start to get lost in darkness. So just in general, right? Well, not even lost in darkness. It starts to create darkness, and then you go through that transition again. Once it starts to get brightened up, so you're taking things that are unseen and you're making it seen. So look at that as masculine, and then you're taking things that are seen and making them unseen, and look at that as being more feminine. So man energies is like externalizing or directing something or providing something, and then feminine energies is like it turning into a womb. You know what I'm saying? You're taking in something. You know what I'm saying? That's why motherfuckers be like, oh yeah, I ain't no bitch. I ain't gonna be pussy and stuff like that. You ain't trying to take something in. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying? You trying to be the pitcher, not the catcher. You ain't trying to catch something. You ain't trying to receive something. You trying to perceive something. You trying to act on something. You trying to, you know what I'm saying? You're not trying to react or receive. You trying to act. You're trying to provide. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to attack. You ain't trying to defend. You know what I'm saying? So it's based upon you trying to have some fatherly type of energy. Look at that as like you trying to have some type of direction, you trying to go down, you trying to have some type of order, and then the woman type of energy is you trying to be in some protection type of energy or motherly, nurturing, caring type of qualities and stuff like that, and you're trying to make a comfort zone around it. You're trying to provide some type of receiving energy out of it instead of you trying to act on something or you trying to externalize something or you trying to express something. You're trying to receive based upon what already got expressed. So women would be like walking vibes, walking vibrations, and then men would be walking frequencies. The frequencies is based upon the attention or the attention span and the intent, and then the feminine energy will be like attractiveness. That's why females always care about being attractive and stuff like that and being seen in a certain way because they always care about how they're being received. You get what I'm saying? So just based upon the same way how you see a flower in its male in its female reproductive organs and stuff like that, its whole purpose is to produce seeds and fruit to facilitate reproduction, often by attracting pollinators. So it's the same way how a female is going to be attractive and she wants to attract men. So she want to attract the pollinators. Oh, she want to attract a nigga with a big dick or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she want to feel like, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to get into that sexual type of nature. And then sex isn't always about physical sex. You can use that as an example and stuff like that. We have sex within the mind first. So based upon the men, the thoughts and ideas, and then the woman, which is just a feeling of emotions, those things like to have sex. Because those are both things that are relative to each other, but they're two opposite polarities. And it's two different energies that's gonna end up making a whole different energy and stuff like that. And the whole thing is like a mechanism in a process. So you have an idea about something, an ideology, and then you're gonna act out that thinking quality. So you're gonna think about the idea, you're gonna sit on it, and then it's gonna turn into a certain feeling. Then it's gonna turn into a specific feeling, which turns into an emotion, and you're gonna end up being moved by that emotion, just in general, because it's just a specific feeling, and then now you know how to deal with that emotion and feeling because you know how you feel about it. So the whole thing is like a transition. It's gonna turn to the daytime to the nighttime, the men into the women, attention, attraction. You get it? And you end up gaining traction on that thing, and then you keep on going through that thing over and over again. Expansion, contraction. You know what I'm saying? Expression, and then making a container for what you just expressed. So essentially, you're trying to make your esoteric Garden of Eden. So you're trying to take these different fruits and seeds that you want to bear, and you want to make them last long. You want to make it so it's abundant, and you want to take from a couple little bushes and trees and flowers and plants and stuff like that, and you want to turn it into a whole garden. So it's something that's really fruitful. You know what I'm saying? You want to make a tree that has a whole bunch of different fruit upon it and stuff like that. And then you have that low hanging fruit that's easy to access, that you don't have to climb up the tree to actually get the fruitfulness or the juiciness from it. And then you have that high hanging fruit, so something that's going to be long lasting or everlasting, or going to be more eternal and things of that nature. So once you start to understand that, oh, I'm gonna plant this seed for this thing that I'm passionate about, but I want to make this thing last a long period of time, so I'm trying to put in work to make it so I can keep on doing that thing for a long period of time, and it's not based upon the money or like the monetary gain, and it's not based upon it being a trend or it being a wave right now. No, I'm really passionate about this thing, so I want this thing to last a long period of time. Oh, I'm gonna turn this into a career. I want to go the distance with this. I want to see the boundaries I could push when it comes to this thing that I'm really into for the most part. It could have started off as a hobby, and then you end up finding out, oh nah, I feel like this is part of my purpose. I feel like this is part of my essence, something that's important, something that's essential to me and stuff like that. And once you start to understand that spiritual, you start to understand that when it comes to that energy from a spiritual perspective, it starts to get into what I'm talking about right now, the blooming of a flower. So you start to plant that seed of things going continuously when it comes to you planting that seed and it bearing its fruit. And you want it to be some high hanging fruit. You want it to be something that's longer lasting, and something that actually took a lot of space, time, and energy for you to do for a long period of time. And you want to keep that continuously going on for the most part. So flowering is just to spring. So like I was saying before, it's like an eternal springtime, and it's during that sun transition, that pocket of time and stuff like that. So that's like you understanding. If I want to make this about astrology, you understanding that the springtime during you know what I'm saying, Aries season, then Taurus season, then Gemini season. If you know what I'm saying, for astrology motherfuckers who want to make that really simple and stuff like that, you start to act out that springtime type of energy. So you start to act out in ways like a Aries would, or a Taurus would, or a Gemini would, or you start to look at where that placement is in your chart, because we really got all signs within our chart. If you know your time of birth and stuff like that, whether it's a certain planet or something like that, or within your houses, you're gonna have that energy in your chart somewhere and stuff like that. Even if you got certain cups and stuff like that, and it don't show up there, no, it's still there. It's just cusping something else, but it's still gonna be that. It's just gonna be transitioning through your houses and stuff like that. But just in general, right? Flowering is to spring or to germinate. So it's the space of being in the best / peak period of one's life. So to mature into one's own potential. So based upon spirituality, it's just the actuality of the overall space, all possibilities and stuff like that. So you're gonna act on the potential of something. So even though it ain't actually manifested and materialized in reality, you're trying to put yourself in that space, into that space of, oh, what if I actually was into that state of being? What if I actually was in that essence? And what does that mean to me in my own subjective particular way of how to go about it? And that's just your individual space, which is just your soul. So your particular way when it comes to your characteristics and your personality and your natural natures of what it means to be into that space and that state of being, but your particular snowflake, your particular one of a kind way of how you like to germinate and grow that flower, how to grow that seed. And once you start to understand your own essence, so that's like your esoteric scent and stuff like that. So your specific aura, or your specific fragrance or perfume and odor in the spirit realm and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's gonna know your particular space of your particular way of how you like to go about it. And it can either be uh, a good sweet smelling perfume and stuff like that, and odor, or it's gonna smell like trash and stuff like that. And y'all know, man, y'all know when y'all see that shit. You know when you smell something that's real, like, you know what I'm saying, like smell some shit. It got like some bullshit behind it. It's like synthetic. It's GMO. It's not natural. It's not genuine. There's no sincerity or some genuineness behind it. There's no creativity behind it and stuff like that. It feel like a motherfucker trying to sell you something compared to a motherfucker who actually doing this from the genuineness from their heart, and they actually have some talent or some ability or creativity to show, and then you able to sense that, and then you all like, oh, okay, I like this person's fruit, or eating this person's you know what I'm saying, their juicy fruit, their creativity compared to somebody else's and stuff like that, because this feels more genuine. This feels like, oh, okay, they're trying to actually build with something. They're trying to construct something. Oh, they doing it for the love of the game. They ain't doing it just based upon the game gonna give them money based upon the program of how society works and different businessmen and suits and ties and shit. You know what I'm saying? So from you taking these seeds and these fruits that you want to bear and you want to make them more eternal or everlasting, so it's going to lead to some type of spirituality, it's going to lead to some type of essence, it's going to lead to you understanding your overall state of being. And even if that monetary gain ain't there when it comes to the external world, so look at that as like money or technology or tools, even if we end up switching into another phone or we have some different type of tool to re-access that in the external world, that's not going to matter. It's not going to be pleasing to everybody, pleasing to everyone in the flesh and stuff like that, and it's not going to please the people's expectations, aka the mind and stuff like that. It's going to be based upon what you're observing in the space that you're in, but your particular space and your particular state of being when it comes to that different, when it comes to that particular unique characteristic of your one of a kind way of your spirit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just your particular state of being overall. So it's you being a flower. So from you being in that flow state, you being a flower, you able to excessively produce that energy abundantly at a frequent rate, and it's not in a particular shape and form. Because when it comes to your spirit, right, your spirit isn't a shape and form, because I know they be saying shit like, oh, it's super unmaterialistic and it's something of like the imagination and stuff like that, and it's you know what I'm saying, yeah, like it's non-material and stuff like that. So the minute a motherfucker start talking spiritual and stuff like that, a motherfucker be like, oh yeah, that's pseudoscience. No, science just means technology, and then y'all don't understand that technology, y'all don't understand that mechanism and stuff like that, because y'all can't create some iRobot, or y'all can't create no new Siri, Chat GPT, AI, artificial intelligence, because it's actual intelligence, because it's coming from a real fucking person with actual sentience. How you think I'm alive right now and I got my own goddamn mind, and how your ass got here too and stuff like that. So stop thinking like that, getting lost into the external world. So just in general, right, is based upon that genuinity, and it's based upon that more sincere type of energy for the most part. So once you start to understand that, you start to understand like, oh, okay, from motherfuckers basically understanding like, oh, okay, like from me being in that flow state, me trying to be in that natural flow, and I'm not getting caught up in a whole bunch of different fluff, or me getting caught up into a whole bunch of different bullshit based upon the expectations of other people and stuff like that. So other people's minds, I'm not getting caught up into the physical and the material and stuff like that of how I'm supposed to feel about it, which is like the body, you know what I'm saying, of it pleasing how my body should feel and stuff like that. And I'm not getting lost into the external world of what society be saying based upon how it's supposed to be constructed and stuff like that. So you care about the everlasting space that you in, so you can keep on staying into that flow state and stuff like that. So you don't even care what a motherfucker's saying. You're gonna keep on being in that same state of being, because that's the thing that helps you keep being creative, and you gonna stay into a particular memory bank. You know what I'm saying? You don't stay into a certain mind state. You don't stay into a certain pocket of time and stuff like that. It's the same way how a motherfucker can think one way 5 years ago when they was a teenager. 5 years later, you're not going to be thinking the same way. So you was able to get out of that space and put yourself into a whole different space. You was able to experience more and expand beyond that. And then you understand based upon what you already went through, what you learned from the experience, so you can have a more broader awareness just in general. So it's you taking that wisdom, you learning from that experience, and then now you know more than what you knew before type shit. You know what I'm saying? So you always need to be in that flow state to understand that space, and then anything you start going through, you start to understand, oh, I'm supposed to go through the ups and downs. Oh, I'm supposed to figure out different pockets and stuff like that. Oh, I'm supposed to understand it shouldn't be in that particular way. And the more I try to actually put it into one particular shape and form to actually gain back that creativity, I'm going to just gain that experience in real life of a resistance of God trying to show me, or all possibilities trying to show me, you need to move in all possibilities. There's more than just that one way of how to do it. You need to move like a father of a multitude. Multiple different ways, multiple different currents, multiple different directions, not just that one container, that one shape and form, that one, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not thinking outside the box. You're not trying to, yeah, like you're trying to think inside a box. You keep on saying inside a box, in a shape and form. So that's when you start to understand how to how to come into your own, aka you start to be more creative and develop your own way of how to make your own lane or own pocket and stuff like that. And it's gonna lead to excessive and abundant growth. So you understanding your own free will and you able to be more free flowing and freely swim around like a fish in water and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you able to understand your own fluidity. So it automatically leads to you making some new type of organs just in general. So based upon the mentality we in and stuff like that, it leads to us making new fruit, new seeds, new organs and stuff like that. Even though I start talking about that, motherfuckers gonna be all like, man, what you talking about? That sounds like some pseudo shit. You mean our mentalities can create a new organ and stuff like that? Well, yeah, you create your own organs and stuff like that. So because your light body, your first body is your mind, your mentality, your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions and stuff like that. Which is why sometimes a lot of motherfuckers start getting prostate cancer or certain organs, lungs and stuff like that, or arthritis and stuff like that, certain nerves not working the same way and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you start looking older than your age and stuff like that because you don't know how to be in your youthful type of energies. And you don't know how to reverse age, so that's how a motherfucker end up being fucking 60 years old, but they still look like they fucking 40 and stuff like that, just like my mama, like dead ass too. Like I'm not even saying that just to brag or nothing like that. Like yeah, my mama like 50 something years old, and she still look like she fucking in her late 30s type shit, like late 40s type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you being in your more youthful type of energies, but you start to understand that when it comes to you creating new ways to look at your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions because you're giving more life and sentience to your first body, and you always put yourself in a new perspective or a new pocket, which leads to your physical organs and stuff like that still being able to retain that healthy type of energy for the most part. So it's healing for your body, but your first body is your mind. So if you start having mental health issues and stuff like that, okay, you're sick and you're dying in the mind and you're doing some unhealthy things. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing in moderation and whatever thing you're practicing, it's like some low-hanging fruit. It's dying out. It's a monetary gain. You need something that's more everlasting. You need to put yourself in a perspective that's going to make you be more creative or more expressive or more abundant or more active, proactive, like mental exercises and stuff like that, which leads to you actually exercising, which help you keep that maintaining balance and stuff like that. Because motherfuckers be exercising in the gym all day and stuff like that, trying to get their body right, but their mind don't be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I was saying before with flowering, yeah, it's like you germinating a seed. So from you springing something off, you germinate a seed, and that's like that basically creates the sperm, and the sperm leads to the semen. Semen is just the sea of men. You know what I'm saying? The sea of men and women, and that leads to you germinating that seed. So you have to start from that starting point of reproducing that energy. So that's understanding your masculine and your feminine. Divine masculine would be like you understanding your ego and your expression. Divine feminine would be you understanding your nurturing and caring type of energies and learn how to control your emotions and stuff like that. So from you controlling your ego, aka the divine masculine, that's you being able to take responsibility and accountability for something, and then you being able to lead charge in the direction of how you want to emanate your light. And then divine feminine, that's you understanding your nurturing and your caring type of energy based upon what you're receiving, but you're able to receive things in the right format. You know what I'm saying? So people gonna be able to feel what you saying. And it's not you just be on some bitchy, needy, overreactive type of energy all the time for the most part. Because from you understanding the divine masculine, looking at that as like your ego and stuff like that, motherfuckers try to equate that to, oh, you start to understand ego death and shit like that, even though your ego isn't really dying in general. It's just you understand how to think about something beyond just yourself. So you're thinking beyond just your own light, your own star, your own sun and stuff like that. Because like I said before, we all have a solar plexus. We all have our own little light inside of us, or our own little star body, our own little atmosphere, sun cycle, atmosphere and stuff like that. So the same way how you have the weather in the external realm and stuff like that, and then some days they be having cloudy days, and then some days it be bright blue skies and shit like that. Okay, you do that when it comes to your internal energies. That's why certain organs don't work in certain days and stuff like that, or you getting injured and shit like that. Yeah, like during those days, shit getting plugged up and clogged up and stuff like that. Oh, it's a cloudy day into that particular area because it's damaged right now. And whether it was like physical external damage, or the shit end up getting wear and tear on over time and stuff like that, based upon the mentality you in. Because like I was saying before, the mentality and the state of being that you in is gonna lead to you creating your organs and stuff like that. But yeah, but just like I was saying before, with like the sperm and like the sea of men. So it's like the sea is like it being the ocean, and then the ocean, the water, it's like the current. So you able to see the currency. So you able to see what's current. So what's presently going on. But also based upon you seeing the currency, you able to currently, fluidly, free flowingly go with that vision at the moment. So you able to externalize it and internalize it, expand, contract. So the whole thing is like a mechanism and a process, just in general. The father and the mother, the sun and the moon, being proactive and then receiving what you being proactive about. You know what I'm saying? Your actions and then your reactions. Externalizing, internalizing. So from you understanding that whole process in itself, and then you don't emasculate yourself, aka you're overly internalizing, doing things from the outside in when you're supposed to do things from the inside out, or you overly trying to add masculine and stuff like that. You trying to run away from dealing with certain emotions and feelings. Because I know a lot of niggas be dealing with that shit. No, we still have feelings. It's just we don't try to let that be shown because it's that tough guy shit, or you know what I'm saying, like hold that shit inside, chest up, you know what I'm saying, big dick energy and all that type shit. No, we still got feelings. It's just about understanding how to deal with our feelings just in general, which is why a lot of people, when it comes to that whole world, when it comes to the manosphere and stuff like that, they really just some bitch ass niggas who really don't know how to regulate and control that shit, and then start turning to some red pill incel type of rhetoric and stuff like that because they don't want to understand that other side, and it just makes them come off even more needy and bitchy because they don't know how to get out of their own ego and look at something beyond just themselves and start talking like how I'm talking right now. You know what I'm saying? They start to understand other energies outside their own awareness, and they ain't getting too blinded by the light. That one specific way I had to look at it, just in general, right? You basically just need more charisma. You need more creativity. You need more, you know what I'm saying? You ain't spiritual like that. You need to be more frequent. You need to be more aware, but understand what you being aware about, so you don't have that clouded ass judgment. And just because you ain't receiving things in a certain way, you ain't gonna start bitching about it type shit, because that's really what a lot of red pill motherfuckers and niggas will be lost into, some hyper masculine, masculine, I can't even say the fucking word, hyper masculine shit just in general be lost into. So just in general, activity leads to productivity. Productivity leads to freshness, and freshness leads to that creativity. So that's when your light start to shine, and then your light don't start to shine without that intense heat. So it's like what I was saying before with germinating the seed and stuff like that. Based upon that intensity, is you able to hold on to something and retain and soak everything in, but you're able to express it to where it's able to bloom, it's able to flourish, it's able to grow, and then it's gonna lead into it flowering, it blooming, it blossoming into something that's greater than yourself, just in general. And that's like you being in heat. Heat is like closeness. Heat is closeness, and then cold is like distance. So you was able to utilize it in your own personal way, and you was able to fine tune whatever that was and stuff like that, and be in heat. So that's like it being hot, it being spicy, it being expressive, it being dynamic, it being bold, it being confident, it being fresh, it being creative, it being new, it being youthful, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's that closeness. You being heat, you being in a high temperament. You know what I'm saying? You being really passionate and stuff like that. So you was able to heat that thing up. You know what I'm saying? You was able to cook in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You was spitting that super hot fire or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You was able to create and produce it yourself, so you was able to revive it, you was able to add on to it, you was able to multiply it, and then that's what leads to your essence. So just your eternal scent, or your sense, common sense, the common mentality and stuff like that, which leads to you making sense out of it, like CENTS and stuff like that, like money, like sense. So that's currency. So it's like what I was saying before, the currency, what's currently going on, and you can currently see it, and that leads to abundance. So you being rich in spirit. So from you being rich in spirit and things of that nature, right, is gonna lead to you being abundant. So you're able to create something in a multitude of different ways, which actually leads to actual values when it comes to you having high values or abundant values or progressive type of values, which leads to actual money in the external world, not the other way around where you just get a whole bunch of different money and you end up being a millionaire and stuff like that, and you think that means something, but you don't even know how to use it because you wasn't rich in spirit first. You don't have an abundant type of mentality and stuff like that. The minute you end up getting some money, you end up using it for the shit you was already doing. A whole bunch of fucking degenerate shit. A whole bunch of things that was really counterproductive. A whole bunch bunch of things that are really unhealthy, bad habits and stuff like that, to cope with the fact you don't know how to utilize your state of being in a more genuine, sincere type of way, because you don't understand your essence or your own spirit and what the fuck you be doing. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if you coming or going and stuff like that. You be paying attention to a lot of things that be monetary gains and stuff like that. You could die tomorrow, none of that shit can go with you. So this in general, that actually leads to like your esoteric autumn time, or the fall time, or the fallen angels, Lucifer, downfalls, dying out, withering. So you're supposed to take the things that are more below the horizon, or things of the external world, because it's everything go based upon that, as above so below, as within so without, and stuff like that. So the things that are outside of you, or the external world, or the things that has nothing to do with the internal realm, right? The things you are without, the things that come after the fact, and the things that become below, or the things that don't deal with ascension, is you going through that descension process. It's starting to fall. It's starting to become a shape and form. It's becoming man. You know what I'm saying? It's not that natural state of being of you being a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a spirit in the spirit realm and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? In the astral realm, you floating around, is taking that state of being, that essence, that substance, that subconscious standing, and is turning into a shape and form to where it could get played out in reality, into the physical, in the flesh, something that's being materialized and being a part of the eternal world. So you have to fall. You know what I'm saying? You basically came out of your graceful type of natures. You fell from grace, and it leads to your downfall. You know what I'm saying? You took something that was basically like your strength, and it started to become weak. It started to become more gentrified and stuff like that. And don't get lost into like what I'm saying right now, like looking at it like, oh, good, bad, positive, negative, and stuff like that. Well, don't look at it like in a morality type of way, like, oh, you falling for grace, so that's bad because of this, that, and the third. No, the whole thing is like a mechanism. The mechanism is the positive turning to a negative, not like the good turning into the bad. No, it's something that was progressive, and that thing that was you was progressing in is starting to die out. So now you have to create and revitalize another way to progress, to get back on that vibration, to get back on that high ass frequency, to get back to your natural natures, to get back to that genuality, to get back to that that same substance, to get back to that spirit, that no shape and form, so it can make you be more, you know what I'm saying? It's like you creating a new pocket. So that's like you turning something that's unseen. I mean, that's you taking something that's seen and making it unseen again. You're in the dark about it. You don't know about it, but it's going to be more enticing because you don't know. So it's something that's new. It's something that's going to, you know what I'm saying, get you more in your youthful type of energy. It's going to be something that's going to be more enticing to you because it's like, damn, I'm in the dark about this, but this is interesting because I don't know about it and I'm not aware about it. Now I want to know about it. Now I want to turn into a shape of form. Now I actually want to gain some wisdom. Now I want to actually gain experiences because, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that's like more free and stuff like that because I ain't experiencing it yet. So now I'm trying to get my feet wet and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like a bad bitch getting her pussy wet and stuff like that. That's why she overly going. She green and stuff like that. Like, that's why she going like that. Cause she like, damn, I ain't never seen no nigga like this and stuff like that. Damn, I ain't never seen a nigga with a dick that big or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never, man, what you doing to me? I ain't never seen a nigga fucking me like this before. Cause this and a third. But like, yeah, she want to get her feet wet. Oh, she getting wet right now and stuff like that. Oh, she getting enticed. Oh, she getting passionate. Oh, she getting really enthusiastic and stuff like that. Like, nah, she want to find out. She want to get experience. She want to feel something. She, you know what I'm saying? She trying to receive all the vibes, all the energy and stuff like that. She trying to fuck with a young nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, it's basically you taking your shrimps and they start to descend. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you was ascending at, and the thing that you put yourself first and you created and stuff like that, now it's starting to actually play out in reality, and you actually starting to bear fruit or bear abundance from it, and now it's starting to die out. You kept on doing the same thing over and over, so now you got to initiate and create a new way of how to go about it so you can keep being in that refreshing pocket and stuff like that, and you gain more knowledge and you gain more awareness and you gain more experience, and then it's just going to add more to your spirit because you observe a whole bunch of different things of how to look at it and different ways to maneuver and stuff like that. You was able to stay in your more youthful childlike type of energies, aka your esoteric springtime for the most part. So you was able to understand the blooming of a flower, you moving smoothly and continuously planting seeds and fruit that you want to bear and stuff like that. So once it starts to turn into you falling from grace or a downfall or it dying out and it start to wither and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You're able to take those things that actually wither and die out and that basically end up not working out for you, that ended up not being abundant, and you was able to turn your weakness into a strength. So that's where that whole expression come from. Oh, your strengths can turn into your weaknesses, but you can turn your weaknesses into your strength because of this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So a thing that you think actually wouldn't help you, if you actually tried to turn that vulnerability, in a sense, you turn that vulnerability, that vulnerability into something that's a new ability. You know what I'm saying? Like all these different things are different abilities that you're able to do for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Just with that whole that LITY word, that ility word, all those different words are just different abilities that you're just able to do. So the minute you add more creativity and you're able to make it more lively or give it more sentience, aka having more sex within the mind and stuff like that. So look at that as gaining attention on something, and then you're able to attract different energies based upon what you're paying attention to. So it's what you're concentrating on, what you're focusing on. So if you was able to do it in a way that's more creative or more progressive or more everlasting and eternal and stuff like that, it don't matter what shape and form that, when it comes to narratives or expectation and stuff like that, or whatever, how someone think or look at it and stuff like that, people gonna be all like, oh, this motherfucker always know how to be himself. Oh, this motherfucker, he could be around a million motherfuckers. He know how to shine his light. He know how to express. He always in a new type of creativity, a new shape and form, a new pocket that we don't never seen before, because you're basically taking things that are unseen and you're making them seen. So you're taking something that's below the horizon and making it above the horizon. You was able to create another way. So, and once you understand that mechanism of things getting played out or died out, so look at that as taking things that are seen already. You already made it seen. Now it's going to be unseen. It's going to be a thing where, okay, well, we already done seen that before. What else you got? What other things can you create and stuff like that? That's when you start to understand, oh, okay, this is like a spiritual thing. This is like a mechanism. This is like a spirit, mind, body conclusion, resolution, understanding. So look at springtime, like the spirit, and look at summertime, like the mind, it being given life and stuff like that. Look at fall time, like the body. It's starting to be temporary. You're going through a death. It's starting to decay just like the leaves. And then look at wintertime, like the conclusion or the external world. So based upon it being part of the external world, it's something that's cold, it's freezing, it's stuck in that pocket of time and stuff like that. So it already done died out and evaporated. So you need to find something of that reproduction or that recorporation or that re-evolution. That's the word I was looking for. Like a revolution or a re-evolution, if that's even a word. Some revitalizing, some new type of progression, and so you can create a new pocket, so you can go back to that springtime again. And the more you're able to be more in sync when it comes to that in reality, when you see the actual sun transitions, when it comes to the different weathers and the different times of the year and stuff like that, right? You're able to make something your year. You're able to make something more in sync, relatable, and you're able to add more to your life and have more abilities under your belt and more experiences just in general, because you was able to play out certain pockets, certain energies when you're supposed to play out those certain pockets and those different energies and stuff like that. And then that's it.